Welcome back to more examples. Here is 15.1 day 2 note. So again, practicing our Pythagorean theorem. So we need a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, a and b are the legs. So even though they have x and y, don't be fooled. We can pick this is A, this is B, it doesn't matter which one's which, and the long side is always C. So I'm going to plug these numbers into my equation. So A squared is my 8, so I'm going to do 8 squared. That's ugly too. Plus B squared, we don't know what it is, so I'm just going to leave it as B squared. You can leave it as Y squared, either one. Equals C squared, which is 12. So we got 12 squared. I should have wrote it over here, but I'm going to rewrite it now. So 8 times 8 gets us what? 8 squared, 64. So 64 plus b squared equals 12 times 12 is 144. Now let's get 64 away from b, so I'm going to subtract 64 from both sides, minus 64. So now I have 144 minus 64. Gets us 80. So we have b squared equals 80. To get rid of that squared, we have to square root both sides. Those go away. That's what b equals square root of 80. Get your handy dandy calculator, square root button. And we're going to round. Do not write this entire thing. We're going to do 8.9. 8.9. Final answer. All right, here's your problem. Take this time now to solve this on Nearpod. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to make this smaller so I have some room. Okay, so we need a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So remember, these sides are a and b. It doesn't matter which one. I don't know why they just moved. This is, hey, this is c, a, b. I don't know what happened. Okay, so a squared is x, so we're going to leave it as a squared, plus b squared is 15, so we got 15 squared equals c squared, which is 21. All right, so now let's solve these. So 15 squared, 225, 225. They bring that a squared down, equals 21 squared. 21 squared is 441. 41. Okay, now to get a by itself, I'm going to subtract 225 on both sides. Those go away. So now I'm going to do minus 225. Gives me 216. So a squared equals 216. Last but not least, I need to take the square root of both sides to get rid of the squared. So I'm left with just a equals 216. So 216, press the square root button. Another long one, so we're going to round it to 14 point. You do 14.6, or that 9 tells you to round up, so it'd be 14.7. Either way, we will take it. 14.7. All right. Hopefully this is jogging your brain a little bit. I do believe you guys did pretty well with these once you get the hang of it. So there we go. All right, so we are still completing two-way frequency tables, but we are upping the challenge a little bit. We are challenging you. So now this time you have a completely blank table, and you have to actually read. And we have to do what's called, we have to do percentages, and then we're going to be actually sprinkling in some probability today. So you have to read pretty carefully. I would use highlighters or underline things. So it gives us clues in here as to how to fill this out. So let's figure out. So it says there are 125 children in year 6. That's just another way of saying 6th grade. So there are 125 children in 6th grade. Boys, girls, everybody. So that is going to be pretty important. That's a pretty big total. We like totals. I'm trying to figure these out. So 125 children in year 6. So 52% of them are girls. Remember, the fun thing with percents, it always adds up to 100. So if 52% of them are girls, how many are boys? It always adds up to 100. So if I have 100, and I'm going to take away that 52 because that's how many girls there are, 52%, 48. So that means 48% are boys. So if you want, we already calculated that. So if you want, we can add that. We got 52 for girls, so 48% are boys. So equals, come on. Oh my gosh, my computer does not like that part of the screen. Sorry. Okay, so these 2% add up to 100 because that's total. We have total boys and girls. So 125 children in all, 52% of them are girls, 48 are boys. Now, unfortunately, there's not a totals section for both of those, but let's keep reading. So 52% of them are girls. 20% of the girls do not play football. So this sentence, 20% of girls do not play football. Here's a do not play football, and here's a girl. So that sentence is going to fill in this box. All right, so this is 5 times as many boys play as do not play football. So 5 times as many boys play football as do not play football. So 5 more, so there's 5 times as many boys play football as opposed to don't. So this sentence is 5 times as many boys play as do not play football. Oh, so they play more than play football. This is going to be this box. Sorry if I'm getting confusing. So we got to figure these out. All right, so to figure these out, let's go back to the beginning with how many girls and how many boys are there, because we have no clue. The only number we have is 125 kids. We don't know how many are boys or how many are girls yet, but they do give us percentages. Now, to figure out, so it sounds a lot harder than this is. All you have to do is we're going to change these percents to decimals. To do that, all we're going to do is move it the decimal place. So the decimal place is here. We're going to move it twice. 1, 2. Because percent means per 100, and that is it. Then 2 decimal places is hundredths place. And we're going to do the same thing with that 52. So it's going to be 1, 2. So now we have 0.48 and 0.52. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do with this. So we're going to take the total, and we're going to take our calculator, and we're going to do 125. Oh, if it would click. 125 times 0.52, so that's for girls, 52% was girls, equals 65. So when you multiply the total by the percent of what we need, this tells us that that's how many girls we have. So 65 is how many girls in total. So let's put our totals on top up here. So the girls is, what did I say, 62? 65. So there's no room for totals. We're just going to leave that there. Totals of girls. So just like we did yesterday, you could figure out, like, because the total amount of boys and girls is 125. So 65 plus something is going to get us 125. So you could do that. So you could do 125 minus 65. But also to practice our percentages, you could also take the same 125 times, and we're going to do it for 0.48. That's for the boys. 0.48 equals 60. So let's check our work. Does 60 plus 65 get us 125? Well, we got 0 plus 5 is 5, okay. And 6 plus 6 is 12. There's 125. Perfect. So there's our total for boys and girls. Okay, I'm going to move this down. Okay. 60. Okay. Now it looks like 66. There. Okay, so this is good. Good. So this is more of a puzzle than it was the other day. So it's going to take a little longer. So bear with us. So, all right, so we got the total boys and total girls separate. Now let's move to the next sentence. It says 20% of the girls do not play football. So 20% of this 65. So I'm going to multiply 20% times 65. Do I do 65 times 20? No. Remember, we have to move the decimal. So there's a decimal here. And we're going to move it 2 spaces to the left because we need a smaller number. So it's going to be 0.2, not 20, just 0.2. So we're going to take 65 times 0.2. Now you can also do 0.20. It's the same thing. The 0 doesn't really mean anything at the end. It's not going to change your answer. So 65 times 0.2 is 13. 13. So 13 of the girls do not play football. So let's fill that in. 13, and I put it in the box. See that pink, and pink. 13 do not play football. Great, but now look, so we have our total. Remember I told you yesterday we need at least 2 numbers, so I know there's not a spot for totals. But this is the total girls. So 13 of the 65 girls do not play football. So how do I figure out how many do play football? You got it. Hopefully you said subtract. So we're going to do 65 minus 13. 65 minus 13 gets us 52. So 52 girls play football. Great. Now that side's done. Now we're going to figure out the boys. This will be a little harder. So it says 5 times as many boys play as do not play football. All right, so we're going to need an equation. So they don't give us numbers. This one gave us a nice number. That was nice. We have 5 times, and 5 times means 5 multiplied. So 5 times as many boys play as do not play. So what if I use these all variables? Because 5 times, so let's say do not play football. So we have 5 times x plus x, right? So x is all the kids. 5 times as many of x, so equals, how many boys we got? 60. So 5 times as many boys play football as do not play football. So if we add up all the kids who play football, both of these, it should get us 60, right? So 5 times as many boys play football as do not play football. So we're going to solve this and get an equation. So we got an equation. So 5 times x plus x, because we don't know how many people play football or not play football, but we do know that 5 times as many do as don't. So let's solve for x. So let's do 5x plus x gets us 6x equals 60. Oh, why is it moving? Okay, then we're going to divide by 6. Divide by 6. Those go away. We're left with x equals 60 divided by 6 gets us 10. Now, 10 is not the answer for this. That is just what x is. And so x, we said 5x plus x. So 5 times as many boys play as do not play football. So if we plug this back in, what's 10 times 5? That's 50 plus 10 equals 60. And 50 plus 10 does get us 60. So 5 times as many boys play football as do not play football. So how many boys play football? 5 times as many. And which one's bigger? If you had 5 times as many cookies, that's more cookies. So it's not the little number, it's gonna be the big number. So hopefully someone else can explain this a little bit better, but 50 is gonna go there. And that means only 10 boys don't play football because 10 and 10 plus 50 gets us 60.